In one of the most shocking decisions in recent Ryder Cup history, Keegan Bradley is set to be named the 2025 US Ryder Cup captain in a news conference in New York on Tuesday. I'm Ryan Ballingy with Golf Newsnet, and the shock news was delivered courtesy of Sports Illustrated and Bob Harig on Monday morning, just hours after the PGA of America announced a news conference scheduled for Tuesday in New York City to announce the 2025 US Ryder Cup captain. There had been speculation for months that Tiger Woods was going to take the job and was asked about it at the Masters. He deferred and said he was still talking to Seth Waugh, who at the time was the head of the PGA of America and has since resigned from that role and is transitioning to an advisory role. Bradley was snubbed for last year's Ryder Cup team in Italy by captain Zach Johnson, and the snub was documented on the Netflix documentary series Full Swing. Bradley had one of his best seasons on the PGA Tour, including winning the Travelers Championship, which he considers his hometown event, in one of the designated tournaments of the year, and ultimately was very upset to find out that he did not make the team even after his great year. Bradley has been on a couple of Ryder Cup teams in 2012 and 2014. He's also been on a President's Cup team. He's also young. He's currently 38 years old and still very much active on the PGA Tour. Bradley, however, is very passionate about the Ryder Cup, and he says he has never unzipped the suitcase that he brought home from Medina in 2012 after the United States surrendered a 4-point lead on the final day at Medina Country Club just outside of Chicago. He's also talked about knowing that he, in his mind, needs to make future Ryder Cup teams on points and points alone because he feels he does not have the relationships or is not part of what he called the boys club to be able to earn a wild card selection with a captain's pick to make the team. However, for Bradley to have taken this role, he would have to have been approved by a task force of sorts that was set up after the 2014 Glen Eagles Ryder Cup. That includes past captain Steve Stricker and a couple of active players who would seek to provide an approval process of sorts for naming the next US Ryder Cup captain after Zach Johnson. Whether that process was followed or how that was followed is unclear. How deeply Woods was involved in the negotiations to become the Ryder Cup captain for 2025 is also unclear, and at what point Bradley was determined to be the best figure for the job is also still to be revealed. However, it sounds like the U.S. and the PGA of America, which leads the U.S. side, is going in a different direction for Bethpage Black in 2025, and they're going to try and shake things up as the Americans will look to continue the winning ways of the home Ryder Cup teams and potentially set themselves up for finally ending what will then be a 34-year skid of losing on the road in the Ryder Cup.